once again doing another project, trying to get several projects out at once. So this is a, you know how like normally people have the little clips that have a rubber band, so that way you can, it's a quick release really. But Gabe came across some really nice quick releases that we felt would look cooler, better, bigger, and sweeter, and it just looks cleaner.
This is definitely going to be the best way to go. It was like $11 for the kid.
No, well, no, it's like, well,
like
because
15 or
so the 11 ones were like plastic, but we wanted to go with the aluminum,
right.
so
Okay.
these were like $20 a piece per
If
set.
I could order another set, I think it was like 15.
He might have
I'll
found a
look
better
into
deal.
it.
Yeah.
I probably got a better deal on them. I did order another set for the rear as well. 8th gens always had like a weird fitment as far as the bumpers go. These little side clips are just horrible. And as far as everyone I know that's had an 8th gen has had issues with those. So this is why I'm going this route. So basically, you drill a hole into here, you put your little pin, and then of course you drill the hole into your bumper, making your release. So that will be, you know, something.
Right, and what's cool about this one too is you see how it's got the big, I guess, the nut. So you pretty much have to take that off, drill a hole about yay big, so that way this piece sits real nice and flush onto the bumper. So that's another cool factor that we liked about it. So all you're really going to see is pretty much just the whole tip just exposed, and you see how flat that is. So very cool and more sturdy than the rubber band quick release. So like Gabe said, we're not dogging anyone. He had them too. Just found a cooler, neater, sleeker technique. So we're going to install those now.
Looking at placement for the actual outer button. So I do have my fender flare. I do want to stay out away from it so that way it's not hidden halfway. And you do have to look into what's behind there. Now, of course, that's the actual bracketing of the fender itself. So I have about a 2-inch drop, about a 3-inch across. You can go ahead and kind of measure that here more or less and say you have, well, about that much space. So I want to try to centralize, you know, kind of in between from here to here, along with being away from the fender flare. And I kind of want it snug, so that way my fender flare and my fender meet properly as they should. Once I go ahead and figure that out, I'm going to go ahead and look behind there and figure out where my actual pin will be. And then of course, it takes 2 nuts. You kind of twist outward or inward as far as where you want your placement so that it sits flush. So we'll go ahead and get all this drilled out, situated, and then we'll come back. Oh yeah.
The OG right here.
The OG brackets. There is an OG bracket that sits here, which is what clips your actual bumper sections on. 8th gen is the worst with it. No matter what you do, they're gonna pop off. At least that's the way I feel. On my original bumper, when I first bought the car, believe it or not, they had actually just put a screw into it and bonded over. So the first time I tried to take off my bumper to put an actual aftermarket lip on there, I had to figure out why my bumper was stuck.
That's so terrible.
I eventually said, man, I guess I need to pop it out with enough force. And this little chunk of Bondo flew off. There was an actual screw on the side of it. Those clips just never help.
Right.
I've switched them out. They've done the same thing over and over, which is why we're going this route.
Right.
I did the bumper quick release with the rubber band and the 2 little rings. That's held on as
much as duct tape.
As much as duct tape, really, you know. Like a week in, I had popped rubber bands. I went to like Lowe's, Home Depot, got these rubber bushings for like, I don't know, like pipes or something.
Right.
Junk. And that didn't hold on too long either, so I got rid of that, and well, here we are.
Yeah.
Do you want to try this method out?
I got it. Here you go, man. Oh, you don't need it yet. Okay, so Mike kind of messed up here, and so what we're trying to get at is like he's measured out the dot here is showing exactly where he's going to drill. So he's got his bumper nice and snug,
and he's going to go ahead and just pretty much drill through and then hits the metal bracket on the fender and go ahead and mark it there. And so he just double checks to make sure that that's marking is correct and where he wants to be, which it is. So then he's going to go ahead and drill through that hole and make it just the right size that he needs. And then once it's in there, like the bolt, he'll actually make the adjustments to where the bumper sits flush with the fender.
Making the hole the wrong way.
We don't have a drill bit or whatever the right size, so I'm kind of just...
But it actually is looking really good.
Yeah.
Nothing we do ever looks bad, crappy. Look at that fitment.
Bam!
Boom. Of course, like this washer sits on the inside.
Right.
But look at that fitment. Real quick, easy, and it's got a nice snug fit.
Oh, that's kind of hard to take out.
Yep. So Gabe did an excellent job, as always.
Yes.
For the most part. Okay, so Gabe is making the magic happen. So let's see how well he did.
So what I did, of course, you're gonna have to adjust to your car. It has one nut and a washer in the front side of it, one nut and a washer in the back. And of course, if you loosen the back one, you can go ahead and push this outward, you know, etc. I figured that this was the point for my car. And let me go ahead and kind of tighten it up a little bit. All right, there we go. I figured that was just the right, I guess, depth for it to work. Let me go ahead and pull my bumper just in a little bit. Kind of find it in. Clip. And that's not coming out.
Nah, that holds really good.
And it sits nice and flush, doesn't look all jank. The hole's not all wallered out or whatever. Pretty much now I just gotta tighten everything nice and snug. But man, like everything fits so nicely, and it's just a little push on the center and a lock.
Very cool.
Oh yeah, now I got it on the other side, but
Hey, I'm sure it'll be just fantastic.
oh yeah, I'll be honest, I mean,
And that's gonna look so much cleaner once he like gets this little section cleaned up here in a bit.
Oh, yeah.
That's gonna look so much cleaner. Just
yeah.
coming over and just pushing a little button.
pop that right off, and man,
Wow, that is so
I'm
cool.
so happy with these, man.
Yeah.
Of course, I just installed them,
Right.
but man, compared to the
The-
rubber band kind of little racetrack looking deal with the tube, I wasn't really a big fan.
No.
Of course, you're probably wondering, hey Gabe, where's the other hole that you speak of? It was actually on the section of the actual arch.
Right.
So it was way further out, which kind of gave it a weird wobble. This, I feel, being right in the center, you know, gives it a good sturdy
Sure does.
overall feel. So I'm kind of glad I didn't cut out the other excess hole.
Yeah, no kidding.
But man, on to the next one and
Really worked out.
finishing all this up, yeah.
Yeah, cool. Whoa, Gabe, what are you doing over here?
Well, being that I was fixing the little holes from the get everything just done once instead of doing this, touching up spots, later on having to redo it again. Of course, we don't know if we're gonna repaint the full car or eventually wrap, but meanwhile, I mean, I still want the car to look good, you know what I mean? So,
Exactly.
yeah.
So, all right. So we'll check in with Gabe as he continues to keep doing this progress. All right. So Gabe repainted the entire bumper. He pretty much just took it down to the base coat, right?
In some spots,
Right.
just to kind of be able to feather in.
And
Still a little tacky, but for the most part, everything's pretty much redone. Got rid of a lot of the chipped paint and
Right.
all that nonsense. Got it all cleaned up, fixed up some of the holes that it had.
Looks good again, though, man.
Yeah, so you know, it's not perfect,
No, but like,
I mean,
it looks
considering
good.
that, you know, what it was to what it is now, and a short amount of time, and it's now kind of getting a little dark.
Right.
Man, it's 1,000 times better.
Yeah, it really does look so much better.
Yeah.
And so now he's putting all his inserts back in.
Yeah, all the little vents, and which
Right.
of course we had to specify how, man, we had to mod.
Yeah, you see, so this is kind of what he was referring to. Like, everything about the kit was real cool, except he had to kind of go and...
This extended way out still doesn't really fit as it should.
Right.
But for the most part, I mean, you can kind of rig them and do a little minor cutting and get it to work. If you don't want to run it just completely open or use like the old school chicken wire.
Yeah, the vent, or the, what is it?
That
The
mesh.
mesh, yeah, that you get at Auto, or the Home Depot.
Depot and so on, yeah.
But all in all, it looks good. Nice and refreshed compared to before.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So that's definitely a positive. And then the holes look real, like, good, considering that, you know, you had to kind of move the
drill bit
the drill
around,
bit
for
around.
that one big hole for the push clips.
Yeah.
I mean, even all that's already tightened down and ready to go. So now I just got to throw the little push clips in.
Let it dry a little more.
Let it dry up a little bit more. I'm just trying to put what I can back on
Right.
while I'm able to anyways. You know, other than that, it's looking a lot better than what it was.
Coming along. Sweet.